student, this is our second lecture regarding this topic mechanical properties of fluid. In last lecture I have given you some important formulae, and in today's lecture again we will see some important formulae related to this topic mechanical properties of fluid. 5 formulae we have studied in first lecture, then 6 formula. 6 formula is related to angle of contact. Now in theoretical aspect we have studied that angle of contact is formed when liquid partially, depending on wetting condition, angle of contact is formed. Either it is partially or it is does not wet condition. So suppose this is solid and this is free surface of liquid and this is molecule A at point of contact. So AP represents adhesive force, AQ represents cohesive force, and the resultant of these two forces it is AR. AR is resultant force. So if we consider the hypothetical condition, so I have drawn here the diagram for hypothetical condition where angle of contact is 90 degrees. Remember, theta 90 degree, it is hypothetical condition. So in this hypothetical condition, what happens? This cohesive force AQ, it creates 45 degree angle with surface as well as 45 degree angle with the surface of liquid. And therefore, mathematically, we can write here equation as vector AP is equal to vector AQ by root 2. This is hypothetical condition for which angle of contact is 90 degree. But in practice, practically, sometimes vector AP is greater than AQ by root 2. So if this takes place, AP is greater, then resultant AR acts outside the liquid. That means molecule A and other neighboring molecule moves upward, concave surface is formed, and hence angle of contact it becomes acute, that is less than 90 degrees. Sometimes this vector AP it becomes less than AQ by root 2. So here what happens? Resultant force AR it shifts inside the liquid, and therefore molecule A and other neighboring molecule they creep downward, convex surface is formed, and angle of contact become obtuse, means greater than 90 degrees. So these are the practical conditions, and this one is hypothetical condition, ideal condition. Seventh formula it is regarding to shape of liquid drop. Shape of liquid drop. So we know that when liquid drop all on the ground, it may acquire such type of shape where angle of contact is acute, or it may acquire such type of shape where angle of contact is obtuse. So here theta angle of contact. And remember here, this is point of contact, and at this point of contact, 3 boundaries are formed, and 3 different surface tensions are acting. Suppose this is T1, T2, and T2. The same situation takes place here also. Angle of contact is obtuse, it becomes T2, T1, and T3. So for the equilibrium condition of drop, mathematically we can write T3 is equal to T1 plus T2 cos theta, cos component of T2. So cos theta is equal to T3 minus T1 upon T2. The same formula we can obtain for this drop also, where angle of contact is obtuse. Then eighth formula regarding the relation between surface tension and temperature. Remember, surface tension at T temperature is equal to T0 minus 1 alpha del T. The terminology should be clear here. TT means surface tension at temperature T. T0 means surface tension at 0 degrees Celsius. Alpha coefficient and del T difference of temperature. Then ninth formula, it is for excess pressure. Excess pressure. If we consider liquid drop, then remember pressure inside the liquid drop, that is Pi, it is greater than pressure outside the liquid drop. And the difference of pressure del P, it is 2T by R, where R is radius of this liquid drop. So del P is nothing but Pi minus P0. If we consider bubble here, instead of drop, bubble, then we get Pi minus P0 is equal to 4T upon R. Then next formula, it is related to capillary action. And in capillary action, what happens? The liquid level inside the capillary, it may rise then outside, or it may depress then outside. This height h, it is given by formula 2T cos theta upon R rho g, where rho is density of this liquid, R is radius of this capillary. From this we can find out surface tension T is equal to H R rho g upon 2 cos theta. This is for capillary action. Then next formula, it is for viscous force for the flow of or the motion of fluid. It is Newton's formula. Newton's formula is F is equal to eta A dV by dx. Remember here F is viscous force, eta is coefficient of friction, or it is also coefficient of viscosity, that is friction in liquid. Then A cross sectional area and dV by dx, it is gradient of velocity. Then Stokes formula, or it is also Stokes law. It is applicable for spherical body when dropped in liquid. And when the spherical body is dropped in liquid, the viscous force acting on that body is given by 6 pi eta r v, where v is velocity of falling of body. We can also find out this velocity by considering equilibrium condition of three forces. One is upward force, that is viscous force. Other is upthrust, and third one is gravitational force, that means weight of that spherical body. At equilibrium condition, the upthrust, sum of upthrust and viscous force, it is exactly balanced by gravitational force. And from this equilibrium condition, we can find out terminal velocity. That terminal velocity is 2 by 9 r square g in bracket rho minus sigma upon eta. Remember here r is radius of spherical body, g is acceleration due to gravity, rho density of that body, sigma density of fluid, and eta coefficient of viscosity. Then again one more important formula is here, that is critical velocity. This is terminal velocity. Here v is terminal velocity, and second one is critical velocity. This velocity will differentiate the flow of fluid. This velocity will decide whether that flow is streamline or turbulent flow. And it is given by formula Vc is equal to R eta upon rho into d. R represent Reynolds number, eta represent coefficient of viscosity, rho represent density of fluid, and capital D represent diameter of pipe through which that fluid is flowing. So this Reynolds number, if it is less than 2000, the flow is streamline. If Reynolds number, if it is greater than 3000, then the flow is turbulent. And if it is in between 2000 to 3000, that is semi-turbulent. Then the next and last important formula is Bernoulli's theorem. According to Bernoulli's theorem, pressure per unit mass, pressure energy per unit mass, plus kinetic energy per unit mass, plus potential energy per unit mass, it always remains constant throughout the motion of fluid. So from this Bernoulli's theorem or this formula, one more application is important, that is velocity of efflux V. And V is equal to under root 2gh, where h is height should be taken from the upper surface of the liquid and not from the bottom, from top surface of the liquid.